Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण dear devotees. So today is Saturday. It is 10th of August. It is Shravana Masa or Shridhara Masa, Kutla Paksham and Sasti Tithi. So there are no Vaishnava events in the calendar today. So we shall quickly move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Lord Brahma speaking to Narada Muni about the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And yesterday and the day before yesterday we have seen, so Lord's activities and all his opulences, they are immeasurable. So what and all we can do? We can only surrender onto his lotus feet. Likewise, Brahma offered his obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and whose glories, uh, the Lord's glories, cannot be understood by Brahma, Narada Muni, and Lord Shankara, and no other demigods can understand him. What to speak of anyone else? Likewise, Brahma was saying, नतोऽस्म्यहं तच्चरणं समीयुषां भवच्चिदं स्वस्तयेनं सुमङ्गलं यो ह्यात्ममाया विभ्वं स्म पर्यगाद् यथा नभः स्वान्तमतापरे कुतः नतोऽस्म्यहं तच्चरणं समीयुषां. His lotus feet is the, he is always showing his lotus feet. It is natosmyaham taccharanam samiyusham. For a surrendered soul, it is the shelter. Likewise, Brahma offered his obeisances. And naham nayoyam yadutam gatim viduhu navama devaha kimuta paresuraha tanmaya mohita buddha isvidam vinirmitam chakma samam vichakshmahe. And then she says that myself, yourself, and Lord Shiva, they cannot, and we all can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What to speak of others? Everyone are bewildered by his illusory energy in these material universes. Likewise, he says, and then today he is further expanding his glories, uh, like uh, glorifying his activities. So we can't do anything except to glorify his activities and chant his glories. Likewise, once again, he is offering his obeisances to the Supreme Lord. So, likewise, we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, and chapter 6, verse number 38. यस्यावतार कर्माणि गायन्ति ह्यस्मद् आदयः नयं विनन्ति तत्त्वेन तस्मै भगवते नमः. Yasya karmani, and whose incarnations and activities. Yasya avatar karmani. Yasya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has been glorifying in the past shlokas and throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam, and for all the questions by Narada Muni. Yasya avatar karmani gayantihi asmadayaham. Gayantihi, and the Lord's activities, karmani, they are chant in glorification. Gayantihi, they are glorified. So indeed, they are glorified. He asmadayaha, by whom? Persons like us. Persons like us. Brahma, Narada, and Shankara, and all the demigods, Prajapatis, and Manus, Rishi, all the people, everyone in this universe, not only in this, throughout the cosmic manifestation, including spiritual and material worlds. Yasya karmani gayanti hi asmadadayaham, and nayam vidanti tatvena, nayam vidanti tatvena. So we do not know whom we do not know tatvena by cent percent as he is. No one can understand cent percent as he is. But Krishna says, Bhaktyamam abhijanati. Only his devotees can understand tatvena. But here Brahma is saying, Nayam vidanti tatvena. Nayam vidanti tatvena. So because we cannot understand as he is 100%, because Lord's glories are like the universe is keep on expanding, like his glories are keep on expanding. That is always competition between the Lord's glories and calculation of his glories. If we are calculating now and in the moment, it has increased a lot. Again, once again, if we calculate, again increases further. By the time factor, everything is increasing. Nayam vidanti tatvena. So, because of that, tasmai bhagavate namah. Unto him, tasmai bhagavate Bhagavate Namaha, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have to offer our respectful obeisances. Likewise, Brahma is saying to Narada Muni, Yasyavatara karmani gayanti hi asmadadayaha nayam vidanti tatvena tasmai bhagavate namaha. And the translation for this verse, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto that Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose incarnations and activities are chanted by us for glorification, though he can hardly be fully known as he is. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request any voluntary devotees to read the purport, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. May I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, please.
It is said that transcendental name, form, quality, pastimes, paraphernalia, personality, etc., cannot possibly be perceived by the gross materialistic senses. But when the senses are purified by the process of hearing, chanting, remembering, and worshipping the lotus feet of the holy deity, etc., the Lord reveals himself uh, pro, proportionally to the advancement of the quality of devotional service. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. One should not expect the Lord to be an order supplying agent who must be present before us as soon as we desire to see him. We must be ready to undergo the prescribed devotional duties, following the path shown by the predecessors, predecessors in the disciplic succession from Brahma, Narada, and similar authorities. As the senses are progressively purified by bona fide devotional service, the Lord reveals his identity according to the spiritual advancement of the devotee. But one who is not in the line of devotional service can hardly perceive him simply by calculation and philosophical speculations. Such a hard worker can present a jugglery of words before an audience but can never know the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his personal feature. The Lord has clearly stated in the Bhagavad Gita that one can know him only by devotional service. No one can know the Lord by any pure path of material process of challenge, but the humble devotee can please the Lord by his earnest devotional activities. Thus, the Lord reveals himself proportionally before the devotee. Lord Brahma therefore offers his respectful obeisances as a bona fide spiritual master and advises us to follow the process of Sravana and Kirtan. Simply by his process of by this process. Oh, simply by hearing and chanting the glories of the activities of the Lord's incarnation, one can certainly see within himself the identity of the Lord. We have already discussed this subject in volume of Srimad Bhagavatam in connection with this verse. Tatshrudana munayo jnana vairagya yuktya पश्यन्ति आत्मनि चात्मनः भक्त्या श्रुति गृह्य sorry Prabhu. Okay. The conclusion is that one cannot know the Supreme Personality of Godhead fully by any method, but he can be seen and partially by the devotional service process of hearing, chanting, etc. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you so much, Mata.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So in this purport, Prabhupada is explaining about the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all his name, form, quality, pastimes, paraphernalia, personality cannot possibly be perceived by the gross materialists. They are concealed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Naham prakasya sarvasya yogamaya samavritah. So they are concealed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when the senses are purified by the process of hearing, chanting, remembering, and worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord, lotus feet of the holy deity, etc., the Lord reveals himself proportionately to the advancement of the quality of devotional service. This is by yeyatamam prapadyante, by the quality of devotional service. So the devotional services or anything that we are engaging our senses in the service of the Lord, that is devotional service for the pleasure of the Lord. That is samsiddhir haritoshanam. Everything, this all the activities by all the ashramas and the varnas, they are only meant for pleasing the Lord. When senses are engaged like that, then Lord reveals himself to us. One should not expect the Lord to be an order supplying agent to who must be present before as soon as we desire to see him. So this one has to, we cannot see. Atha Sri Krishna Namadina Bevidgrahimindriyehi. And also this is, we are not pure. We haven't done enough. Durapahya alpatapasaha seva Vaikunta vatmasu yatropagite nityam deva devo janardanaha. Durapahya alpatapasaha. One who has not done the enough austerities and penances for the Lord's sake, seva Vaikunta vatmasu, and they don't get even that devotional service for themselves. Yatropagite nityam deva devo janardanaha. And at the lotus feet of the Lord all the time, the singing of kirtan, glorification, the happiness, the blissful environment, it is not available for the foolish people or the materialistic people. And Lord doesn't give the devotional service to the people that much easily because drapahi alpatapasaha, they have not done enough sacrifices. So we must be ready to undergo the prescribed devotional duties following the path shown by the predecessors in the disciplic section from Brahma, Narada, and similar authorities. Tashraddhadana muniyo jnana vairagyuktaya pasyanthyatmani chatmanam bhaktya gruhitaya. As one has heard from the authorities, one has to execute the devotional service in the similar way. So that is here Prabhupada is explaining. And then further, as senses are progressively purified by the bona fide devotional service, the Lord reveals his identity. Sevonmukehi jihvado swayameva sprutyadaha. Swayameva sprutyadaha. The Lord, he himself reveals to the devotee. So according to the spiritual advancement of the devotee, but who is not in line of devotional service can hardly perceive him simply by calculations and philosophical speculations. Tato dustangam usturjha sattu sajjeta buddhiman. Tanta eva sachindanti manovyasanga muktibihi. When he is completely free from the jugglery and all the mental speculations, then and also among the devotees, if he is performing his devotional service, then he will be having a chance. So Krishna says that Santa eva sachindanti manovyasanga muktibihi. So one has to be free from all these things. And then further, Prabhupada is explaining, and so there's such hard worker can present a jugglery of words before an audience, but can never know the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his personal feature. So this is the personal feature. Many people, they go to the temple and see the deity and offer one obeisances and then come back and then engage themselves in the materialistic duties. They cannot understand what to do in the temple, and so यद्यद् बुद्धिः सरले न करहे चेत् जनेषु अविज्ञेषु स एव गोकरः. One has to speak to the devotees, associate with the devotees, take the prasadam, and glorify the Lord and do bhajan in the temple. So that is how the Lord, but the materialistic people, they go to the temple and offer obeisances, and darshan is finished, and then we can take some pictures and go home. That is, Lord cannot reveal himself. Of course, they are engaged busily in the materialistic, so many materialistic duties. Lord does not reveal himself to materialistic person, or such hard workers can present a jugglery of words before an audience, but can never know the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his personal feature. So the Lord has clearly stated in the Bhagavad Gita that one can know him only by devotional service. This is Bhaktya Mama Vijanati Yavan Shashmi Tatpataha. Tatpataha, they will understand Tatpataha. Tato Mam Tatvato Jnatva Vishte Tadanantaram. After knowing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Tattvataha, they enter into the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They will attain Madbhavam Agataha. They will attain the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They inherit the qualities of the Lord in a minute quantity. No one can know the Lord by any puffed up material process of challenge, but humble devotee can please the Lord by his earnest devotional activities. And then Lord reveals himself proportionately to the before the devotee. Ye yata mam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyaham mama vatmanu vattante manushaha parda sarvashaha. So this is Prabhupada is explaining everything, and the Lord Brahma therefore offers his respectful obeisances. That is Tasmai Namo Bhagavate Namaha, as a bona fide spiritual master and as a advisor to follow the process of Shravana and Kirtana. This simply by this process. This is the Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajashayo Viduhu. This is a disciplic section. Yad Yadachariti Sreshtaha Tattad Devetaro Naraha Sayat Pramanam Kurute Lokaha Tad Anuvartate. Because Brahma has offered his obeisances, so Narada Muni, so Lord Shankara, and all the, and then Kumara, Kapilo, Manuhu, Prahlado, Janako, Bhishmo, Bhalidvaya, Sakidvayam. So likewise, all the authorities, they are doing the same process, offering their respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Simply by this process, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru, Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru, Mam Yevaishasi Yuktaivam Atmanam Matparayanaha, Matparayanaha. Always one has to be Matparayanaha, thinking of Krishna only, surrendered unto Krishna only. So this is the Matparayanaha. Tad Buddhayaha, Tadatmanaha, Tannishtaha, Tatparayanaha, Gacchantya Punaravrittim, Jnanidhuta Kalmashaha, completely purifying by from the all the contaminations of the material world. So simply by hearing and chanting the glories of the activities of the Lord's incarnation, one can certainly see within himself the identity of the Lord. We have already discussed this in the volume of this Prabhupada mentions again. Tashraddadana Muniyo Jnana Vairagyuktaya Pasyantyatmani Chatmanam Bhakta Shuta Gruhitaya. So one has to follow. So the conclusion is that one cannot know the Supreme Personality of Godhead fully by any method, but he can be seen and felt partially by the devotional service, process of hearing and chanting. Shrinuta Sadhya Nityam Grunthasthatvachešitam Kalena Nati Dirghena Bhagavan Vishite Pridi. So just Shrinuta Shraddhaya Nityam by Shraddha Nityam. Shrinuta Shraddhaya Nityam Grunasasta Swachestitam. He has to take to that devotional activities with so lovingly and affectionately. Kalena na atidirghena. In the short duration of time, not very long. He Bhagavan Vishite Hridi, the Lord enters into the heart by his personal form, Bhagavan. So, but as a super soul, he is already there in the heart of all the living entities. But Bhagavan Vishite Hridi, by his personal feature, he enters into the heart of the devotee, and he will Pravishtaha Karnarandrena Swanam Bhava Sururuham Dhunoti Shamalam Krishnaha Salilasya Yatha Sarat. So here Krishnasya as the Bhagavan, he enters and sit in the heart of the devotees, and then he cleans all the material things and he lives there. ये त्वदीय चरणं भुजकोशगन्धं जिघ्रन्ति so that Brahma's prayers, once again, he mentions that whoever is hearing the Krishna Katha coming from the lotus feet of the Lord, and from their heart, the Lord never gets separated at any point of time. Okay, so likewise, Prabhupada is explaining, and so that's why Brahma is offering his obeisances to the Supreme Lord. Yasyavatar karmani gayantihi asmadadayaha, including Narada Muni and Lord Shankara and all the demigods. So, nayam vidanti tatvena tasmai bhagavate namaha. So likewise, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. And we shall quickly move into Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is letter to Damodara, March 24th, 1970, Los Angeles. Can I request another voluntary devotee to read the purport, please?
I will read, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
My dear Damodara, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge receipt of a letter dated 15th March 1970 and thank you very much for the check of $30 contribution to my maintenance and book funds. I am so glad to learn that your efforts to raise contributions towards a nicer temple are now meeting some good response. Now, the Washington devotees have appeared on the television several times, so the public will be inquiring more and more what is this Krishna consciousness movement. And you say that several hundred people joined in chanting and dancing during the eclipse. All these things are very much encouraging to me. The key to your success is firm conviction combined with sincerity of purpose, then push our Krishna consciousness movement with unflinching determination. Do not feel inferior complexity. When Krishna will give you chance, you will do more than others are doing. But whatever you do, do it nicely in Krishna's service, and Krishna will bless you. Washington is the capital of the US, and so your center should be just befitting the position of Washington. If something you come here and see the Los Angeles temple and their activities, I think you may improve in your activity. Please offer my blessings. Please offer my blessings to Madhusudana, Kanchana Bala, Dinesh, Vishnu Arati, Dennis, and all the boys and girls there. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your very well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Any takeaway points, Prabhuji?
Takeaway points is instructions Prabhupada is giving to his disciples and also to us, that you do whatever you do, all do it the Krishna service. So whatever contributions we are doing, we should do it very nicely, that people should see that the devotees are doing wonderful job. In that way, lot of devotees, lot of general people become devotee. So we have to be an example of how devotee should be, so that when they see us, and they also get inspired, and they also started to follow Krishna consciousness movement. So that's what my understanding here, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nicely explained. Any other comments, dear devotees? And Prabhupada here it is mentioning, do not feel inferior complexity. Sometimes in the devotional service, we may be thinking that one person is doing more, one person is thinking less. As soon as he will also get a chance. But yeah, Krishna will when Krishna will give you a chance, you will do more than others are doing. One can practically experience this one. One should have a desire. Okay, this is my takeaway point as well. Any other points, dear devotees, you want to add?
Yes, Prabhu. It's like yeah, what you said is right, Prabhu. We should not feel inferior in doing service. Someone doing a DT service, someone doing kitchen service doesn't mean that they are good, they are not good. It's all whatever menial service we will do to Krishna. Krishna will see us, and then He'll give us chance that we can do something better in what we are doing, or also He can give it some other service as well. It's all Krishna's will and wish, and we just need to do the service what we are getting at the best we can. So Krishna will see us, and then He will provide us better, more opportunities. That sounds.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Prabhuji. And also here Prabhupada is mentioning that devotees have appeared on the television several times, so the public will be inquired more and more what is Krishna consciousness movement. This is publicizing. This is very, very important. And we have to give this knowledge to all the people in general. And also we are also recording our so many everyday Bhagavatam or all of our programs. And it is better, I request all the devotees kindly like and share in your community, so that they will also get a chance and then to come to our Sangha if new devotees. It is a kind request. Okay, so that is my takeaway.
Prabhu, in the YouTube, did I write, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, yes.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay.
Okay, so this is the sincerity of purpose, then Krishna, then push our Krishna conscious movement with unflinching determination. So it doesn't matter whether people will like it or not like it, whether I have liked it, whether I have shared it, that matters. So whether I did my duty with unflinching determination, that is the only thing Krishna sees. That's all. Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter, and from the announcements point of view. So today evening we have got Chaitanya Charitamrita starting with introduction. We go by reading. And that's it by our Sangha only. We haven't got, when our guest speakers come, then we request them to summarize topic by topic in the sequence. Okay, and the dear devotees, if you have got any other updates you want to share or anything on Krishna consciousness, kindly share. Otherwise, we shall move on to Vaikunta, description of Vaikunta. Hare Krishna. Okay, so thank you so much. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we are in the Vaikunta description. Vaikunta description. Third canto, chapter 15. And then verse number 35. Chapter 15. Description of kingdom of God. This is Vaikunta. It is the so beautiful part, the most beautiful part. 35. Okay, so today I also request dear devotees, we are going to come to the part where we are glorifying the lotus feet of the Lord. We will see today we are going to immerse ourselves in the nectar of lotus feet of the Lord. Okay, so okay, so in the Srimad, before we once again start again another topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Lord Brahma, he is speaking to the demigods. Lord Brahma speaking to demigods. So let me just so Lord Brahma speaking about the glories of Vaikunta and to all the demigods. Demigods are sitting and hearing Krishna Katha, and where about the pastime of when Kumaras visiting the Vaikunta planet. So when Kumaras visited the Jaya and Vijaya, so they have stopped them at the time. And Kumaras, they are about to curse the Jaya and Vijaya. So this is where we have discussed in the last session. Tesham iti mirita ubhau avdharya ghoram tam brahma dandam anivaranam astripugaihi sajjo hari anusaru guru bibyatah tat padagraho apapatam atikatarena. So Jaya and Vijaya, after knowing that they were being cursed by Kumaras, they are very afraid and they fall on the lotus feet of these Kumaras immediately. Bipyatahta padagraho apapatam atikatarena, with so much of great anxiety. So thinking that they will be sent to a place lokanito rachitam antarabhava drishtya papi yastraya ime ripo asyayatra, to the material world where there is a duality and the goodness, passion and ignorance and lobha, moha, kama, krodha, lobha. So papiyastraya ime ripavo asyayatra, which are the enemies of the pure soul. So lokanito vrajita mantra bhav drishtya papiyastraya ime ripavo asyayatra. Likewise, when they were thinking to curse them, this Jaya and Vijaya fall on the feet of the Kumara with so much of anxiety, bibyataha, with fearfulness, with the fearfulness. Padagraho apapatam atikatarena. Now Jaya and Vijaya are speaking. What they're speaking, so we are going to see in the next verse number. We are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 15, verse number 36. So this is the plea of Jaya and Vijaya to the Kumaras. So here once again Brahma is saying these statements about the plea of Jaya and Vijaya. भूयाधगो निभगवद्भिः अकारिदण्डो यो नौ हरेत सुरहेरणम् अप्यशेषम् मा वो नुतापकलया भगवत्स्मृतिघ्नो मोहौ भवेदिहतु नौ रजतो अदो अधः भूयाद् अगोनि भगवद्भिः अकारिदण्डो. And here bhuyad aghoni and bhuyad, let it be whatever, O Brahmanas, O Kumaras, whatever you have cursed us, let it be aghoni, for the sinful action. So whatever the curse you have given to us, bhavadbihi, bhagavadbihi, akari dhando, you have punished us. That is fine. Let it be like that. Akari dhando. Akari is the was done. Dandaha punishment. Yono hareta suraheranam apyashesham. Yo know that which now in relation to us. Hareta suraheranam. And that should destroy Suraheranam, destroy disobeying the great demigods. Suraheranam apyashesham api ashesham, certainly unlimited. So here they are pleading for the forgiveness. Jaya and Vijaya Bhuyadagoni Bhagwadbihi Akari Dhando Yonav Hareda Suraheranam Apyashesham, saying that the statement is going like that. O Brahmanas, O Bhagavan Kumaras, so they're also representing Bhagavad-bihi. So you have cursed us, so that is fine, let it be. Because we have offended you and you have cursed it. And then they're saying, Mavo Tapakalaya Bhavat Smritigno, Bhagavat Smritigno, Mavo, and what they are asking, Ma is the not. Mavo Anutapakalaya. Anutapakalaya. This is the repentance. Whatever they are feeling, the repentance. Mavo Anutapakalaya Bhagavat Smritigno. And of the Supreme, the remembrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Smritignaha. Destroying the memory of. Smriti is the remembrance, and Smriti Gnaha is the destroying the memory of. And they do not want that to happen, even though they go to the material world. They wanted to remember the Lord. Ma is that should not happen. So forgetting of the Supreme Personality of Godhead should not happen wherever we go. So likewise, they are asking, Mavo Anutapakalaya Bhagavat Smriti Gno Moho bhavedihatu rajito ado adaha. They're saying moha is the illusion. Bhavet ihatu now. And whenever in the materialistic life, in the foolish species of life, bhavediha, in the bhavedihatu now, what is that? So for us, when we are in these material universes, at that time, Vrajito Ado Adaha, and whatever the down it is, whatever the downgrade life it happens, then we should not forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead at any point of time. Likewise, they are asking, this is very, very, very important. All the time one has to pray for this one. It doesn't matter whether we are in the human life or different life, but we must always remember the Supreme Person. We never ever forget Krishna. There is also statement. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Both represent the same, but here the Jaya and Vijaya also saying the same thing. Mavonu tapakalaya bhagavat smritigno mohau bhavedihatu rajito adho adaha. Bhuyadagoni Bhagwadbihi Akaridando Yonau Hareta Suraheranam Apyashesham Mavo Nutapakalaya Bhagvat Smritigno Mohau Bhavedi Hatano Rajito Ado Adaham. The translation and the purport. Can I request Meena Mataji, would you like to read the translation and purport? Or any devotees are fine.
I will record.
Yes, Mataji.
After being cursed by the sages, the domain said, "It is quite apt that you have punished us for neglecting to respect sages like you. But we pray that due to your compassion at our repentance, the illusion of forgetting the Supreme Personality of Godhead will not come upon us as we go progressively downward." Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. To a devotee, any heavy punishment is tolerable, but the one which affects forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord, the domain who were also devotees could understand the punishment meted out to them, for they were conscious of the great offense they had committed by not allowing the sages to enter Vaikunta. In the lower species of life, including the animal species, forgetfulness of the Lord is very prominent. The domain were aware that they were going to the criminal department of the material world, and they expected that they might go to the lower species and forget the Supreme Lord. They prayed, therefore, that this might not happen in the lives they were going to accept because of the curse in Bhagavad Gita, because of the curse. In Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, verse 19 and 20, it is said that those who are envious of the Lord and his devotees are thrown into the species of abominable life. Life after life, such fools are unable to remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore they continue going down and down. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. So, thank you, Mataji. So, here in this purport, Prabhupada is explaining that the heavy punishment is it is the punishment forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord. So this is a heavy punishment because we also see. One second. So to a devotee, any heavy punishment is tolerable, but the one which affects forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord. So except that, anything is tolerable for a devotee. So here, if we see materialistic people, how they are engaged, how their life is so anxiety every moment, and they're always suffering by their lust, greed, anger, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsaras, all the Arishad Vargas. They're tormented every moment. They will. So that is the position of the material world. Here, Jaya and Vijaya did not want such kind of Mavonutapakalaya Bhagavad Smritigno. The such kind of thing should not happen to them. That is the request. So the doormen who are also devotees could understand the punishment meted out to them, for they were conscious of the great offense they had committed by not allowing the sages to enter Vaikunta Loka. It is an offense, not allowing the sages to enter into the Vaikunta Loka. So, and Prabhupada explaining about the lowest species of life. So here they are saying Bhavedyaha to now Rajito Adovadaha. Adovadaha is going falling down into the lower species of life. What are the lower species of life? They are in the Vaikunta, and lower species Brahma, Prajapatis, and going down, and another sages, and then their children Manus, and then their children. All the whatever the person he is in the material world, everyone are affected by Kama, Krodha, Lobha. This is Papiyastraya Ime Ripovasya. They are the three enemies of the living entity. And now, so that is going down into human beings. And then to the middle planet systems, after that, there are further Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Mahatala, Talatala, Rasatala, Patala, going down into the lower species of life. Patala is where all the snakes and then they forget completely. They're always envious, irrespective of whether he's a good person or bad person. They're always envious towards the opposite. That is the so in the lowest species of life, including the animal species, forgetfulness of the Lord is very prominent. Animals cannot understand, they cannot remember their consciousness. Is the Avruta, Mukulita, Vyakulita, Vikasita, Purna Vikasita. In the Avrita stage, the trees and other species of life, they do not have consciousness. So what to speak of the Smriti, remembering the God. And coming to the animals, they're always in the bodily thing, always. Some living entities, they cannot move. And they're always trying to live for their sustenance only. So what to speak of the remembrance for them also. And after that, going further, remembrance. And then it comes to the even the human beings are there. They're also engaging in themselves, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Their life is also nothing but the animalistic life, but they have got the two legs. And then out of the human society, the Varnashrama Dharma, that is the most perfect thing. So this one, Kapil Bhagavan explains in the Srimad Bhagavatam. While explaining the glories of the devotional service, which is carried out by the devotees. Tato varnashu chatvaraha tesham brahmana uttamaha. Brahmaneshu api vedajno yaddajno abhidikaha tataha. So out of one, Varnashrama is the best of all the things. So Jivaha Sreshta hi Ajivanam tatah prana brutah shubhe tatah sachittaha pravaraha tatah indriya vrittayaha tatrapi spasa vedibhyaha pravara rasa vedinaha tebhyo gandha vidah sreshtaha tatah sabdha vidovaraha rupa veda visatra tatah ubhayato dataha tesham bahupadaha sreshtaha chatushpadaha tato dvipat. So this is the sequence of the living entities. Jivaha sreshta hi ajivanam. The living entities are better than the like rocks and such kind of non-life things. And out of that, which have tatah prana bhuta shubhe, which has the life force, and then tata sachittaha pravaraha, and which has got a consciousness, and then later on tatahcha indriya vrittayaha, and later on the living entities with the senses, they are the better than them. And the next level is the tatrapi sparsha vedibhyaha, and which have got the sense of touch, tatrapi sparsha vedibhyaha. And the next level is the pravara rasa vedinaha, and which have got a taste, that is the next level. And better than that, tebhyo gandha vidah sreshtaha, gandha vidaha, the smell, which can also smell. And further than that, tatah sabda vidovaraha, which can perceive the sound vibrations. Better than that, which can understand rupa bedaha vidastatra, which can understand the form. And then better than them, tatascha ubayato dataha, which has got the dentures on the top and bottom dentures. Tatascha ubayato dataha. And better than them is tesham bahupadaha. And better than them is the living entities with many legs. There are some creatures like worm kind of creatures. They have got so many hundreds of legs. Tesham bahupadaha. And better than that is Sreshtaha Chatushpadaha, and better than them is having the 4 legs. Spider is also having 8 legs. Better than that is having the 4-legged animals, like the cows. And Tato Dvipat Chatushpadaha Tato Dvipat, and better than me is the 2-legged animals. And then further, Tato Varnasha Chatvarha, 2-legged animals are coming to the human species of life. Here just it is going overall summarized way. So better than human, out of human beings, what society is the Varnasha? Tato Varnasha Chatvarha, Tesham Brahmana Uttamaha. Out of Varnashama Dharma, Brahmanas are the best. Out of Brahmaneshu api Vedajno, out of the Brahmanas, who knows the Vedas? He is the best. Out of the Brahmanas, who knows the Vedas? Who knows the meaning of it? Cheddajno abhyadikaha tadaha. Who knows the meaning of it? Who knows the prayojana? What is the prayojana? Is the Krishna is the ultimate God, and relationship, establishing relationship, rendering service unto him. That is the prayojana. Who knows the meaning of it? He is the best. Out of those things, who can explain and about the devotional service to the others? Ardhajat, Ardhajnat, Samsayat Chetaha. Who can explain about those Vedas? He is the best. And better than him is the Tatashreyan Swakarma Krut, who performs his activities, devotional service activities. He is the best. By an example, Acharya. And better than that, Mukta Sangaha Tato Bhuyan. And once he is completely free from the material attachments, he is the best. Because he doesn't have any material attachments. And better than him is Adogda Dharmamatmanaha. Adogda Dharmamatmanaha, who is complete surrendered soul unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He doesn't have any other of personal or material relations. That Adogda Dharmamatmanaha. So he is the Napasyami Param Bhotamakatuha Samadharshana. Kapil Bhagavan says there is no better than him. So here the lowest species of life is going down to the Shreya. So a living entity is like the plant. So here, whatever the life we are going down, moho bhavedi hatono rajito adho adaha. We do not want to forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada is explaining, including the animal species. Forgetfulness of the Lord is very prominent. And the doormen were aware that they are going to be going to the criminal department of the material world. And they expected that they might go to the lowest species. They might go to the lowest species and forget the Supreme Lord. They prayed, therefore, that this might not happen in the lives they were going to accept because of the curse. Because what happens? Because they don't remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the 8.4 million species of life, they have to grow step by step, one step by another step like that. They don't find the shortcut to come back to Vaikunta very quickly. That is the problem. So in the Bhagavad Gita, so here, but in this material world, why the devotees are going on Harinama Sankirtan and the state to awaken the dormant conditions. Don't go step by step. Come quickly to back to Godhead. That is the mainly awakening the consciousness, Krishna consciousness. That is the Sankirtana movement. And then later on, Prabhupada is mentioning about the Krishna statements, what Krishna does. So people who are always envious of the Lord and his devotees, they are thrown into the species of abominable life. So this one Krishna says here in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the 19th and 16th, 20th verses. So तानहं द्विषितः क्रूरान् संसारेषु नराधमान् क्षिपामि अजस्रम् अशुभान् आसुरी स्वेव योनिषु. And what Lord is saying? Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among the men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. This is once again Krishna is saying to Arjuna here. Asrim yoni mapanna. So this is once they get into the asuric life, demonic life. Asrim yoni mapannaha moda janmani. And life after life. Moda janmani. What is life? The foolish life. Janmani for so many lives. Mam aprapya kaunteya. And without getting me, tato yanti adamam gatim. Look at that, how worst situation for that living entities. Tato yanti adamam gatim. They condemned and they fall down into lowest species of life. If they fall to the again the species like the plants and all those things in a place where there are not even devotees, we also see some kind of small plants, cactus and such kind of living entity. The plants, they fall into the deserts. Some living entities are living in the deserts with so much of pain. They don't get even the water. Somewhere or other they are getting survived. But what about their life? They have to go this 8 point more million species of life. So one step, another step, like very slow progress. Tatoyant adamam gatim. Attaining repeated birth among us a species of demonic life. O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. That is the nature of, if anyone he is envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotees. So that is Prabhupada is explaining here. So therefore, they continue going down and down. So that is Jaya and Vijaya, they are requesting the Kumara, saying that Moho Bhavedi Hatano Rajito Adovadaha Maho Anutapakalaya Bhagvat Smritigno Moho Bhavedi Hatano Rajito Adovadaha. So let that not happen to us. Likewise, Jaya and Vijaya, they are requesting. Okay, so this is this verse. And dear devotees, if you got any questions, kindly raise, or if you wanted to add anything, kindly add. Okay, so if there are no further questions, then we shall move to the next verse. So now Jaya and Vijaya, they fall down and then requesting Brahmanas, your curse is fine, but we should not forget the Supreme Lord wherever we go. It doesn't matter. Diviva bhuviva narakeva narakantaka prakamam avadhirita avadhirita. So this is also one he mentions Diviva bhuviva mamastu vasu narakeva narakantaka prakamam avadhirita charadaravindav charanau te marane api chintayami. Kulashekara Alvar, he glorifies the Lord in his Mukundamala Stotra. So we shall move to the next verse. It is the 37. So this is the most beautiful part of the chapter. So this is where the Lord enters into the arena. Lord enters into the arena where this Jaya and Vijaya are being cursed by the Kumaras. So this is the, let me just open this one. Okay, so this is come to that point. The Lord is coming from the palace. So here in this verse, that Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has understood that this Jaya and Vijaya are being cursed by the four Kumaras at the seventh gate of Vaikunta, and then they have done Jaya and Vijaya, they have offended the great sages. And so by hearing that, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he comes along with the goddess of fortune by walking on his lotus feet. What is that lotus feet? So that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everyone who prays Mukunda Modhna Pranipatnyayate Bhavanta Miyanta Madham Avismritvacharanaravinде Bhave me astu bhavat prasada. And one is always trying to remember Avismritihi. One should not forget the Smriti. He wanted to have Smriti of the lotus feet of the Lord all the time. Whatever the life he wanted to have. Bhave me astu bhavat prasada. So just like whatever Krishna was saying in the Bhagavad Gita just now, and what Prabhupada is explaining in the purport, and what Jaya and Vijaya, they do not want it to happen, that forgetfulness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And also here Mukunda Mala Stotra, even Kulashekara Alvar also, he is Avismritva Charanarvinde Bhave me Astu Bhavat Prasada. That forgetfulness of the lotus feet of the Lord never happened in my life. whatever the life, bhave bhave me astu bhavat prasadat. And he wanted to remember his lotus feet. Nasta dharme navasu nichaye naiva kamopabhoge yajjad bhavyam bhavatu bhagavan purva karmanurupam etat prajyam mama bahumatam janma janmantarepi twatpad amboruha yuga gata nischala bhaktirastu. He wanted to have that devotional service nischala bhaktirastu onto Tvatpada Amboruha Yuga Gata Nishala Bhakti Rastu, that lotus feet of the Lord, so on which the Lord is coming and walking here along with the goddess of fortune. He wanted, this is the way of life. He doesn't want anything else. Nasta dharme navosinichaye naiva kamopabhoge yajjad bhavyam bhavatu bhagavan purva karmanurupam. Whatever the coming pains and pressures, they will come automatically based on our previous karma. But I am worshipping the Lord. I am praying to the Lord. Etat prajyam mama bahumatam janma janmantarepi. So many life after life. What I want? Tvatpadamborha yugagata nishala bhakti rastu. Diviva bhuviva mamastu vaso narakeva narakantaka prakamam. Avadhirita saradara vindhau charanau te marane api chintayami. That lotus feet of the Lord. It doesn't matter I am in the heaven or hell or in the soul, whatever it is. I wanted to be at the lotus feet of the Lord, even at the time of the death. Charanaute marane api chintayami. I have to remember chintayami every moment, that lotus feet of the Lord. And devotee, Krishna Tvadiya Pada Pankaja Panjarantam Adjaiva me Vishatu Manasa Rajaham Saham Prana Prayana Samaye Kapavata Pittaihi Kantavarodana Vidau Smaranam Kutaste. And here again he is asking, let my mind to lock onto the cage of your lotus feet. The cage of your lotus feet. My mind, which is like a Manasa Rajahamsaha, and where it needs to be captured with the cage of your lotus feet. Krishna Tvadiya Pada Pankaja Pancharantam Adhyaiva me Vishatu Manasa Rajahamsaha. Why? Prana Prayana Samaye Kapavata Pittaihi Kantavarodana Vidau Smaranam Kutaste. So at the leaving of this body and the Kapavata Pittaihi, so the Tritadubhihi, they will always torture the living entity at that point of time. At that time, I do not know whether I can speak about your glories or not, and remember your lotus feet or not. Kantavarodana vidau smaranam kutaste. Well, I do not know whether I remember. So let my mind of the swan of my mind is to be locked at the lotus cage of your lotus feet. Likewise, this Kulashekar Alvar, he prays to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is Jihve Kirtaya Keshavam Muraripum Cheto Bhaja Sridharam Panidbandha Samachayachita Kataha Srotra Dvayatvam Shrunu Krishnam Lokaya Lochanadvaya Harir Gachangri Yugmalayam Jigragrana Mukunda Pada Tulasi Murdanna Madokshajam. So he is always Locharadvaya Harer Gachangri Yugmalayam, Angri Yugmalayam. And he wanted to be at the lotus feet of the Lord. And also Jigragrana Mukunda Pada Tulasim. And he wanted to smell and he wanted to taste the tulsi leaves which are at the lotus feet of the Lord. Murdanna Madokshajam. These are the beautiful prayers of the devotees. That is the lotus feet of the Lord. And this is, he also says, Baddhenanjalina natena sirasa gatraihi saramudgamaihi kantena swaragadghadena nayenena udgina bashvambhunam nityam tvaccharanaravinda dhyanamruta swadinam asmakam sarasiruhakcha sadatam sampajyatam jivitam. That is Nityam Tvacharanaravindayugala Dhyanamrita Swadinam. All the time meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord. Nityam Tvacharanaravindayugala. That is the desire of a devotee. So these are a few prayers, and here I got the collection of uh, glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, lotus feet. So request also devotees take turn, at least a few of them. Can I request Usha Mataji, would you like to do the recitation of this verse? This is the Nave Jano Jatu Katanchanavrajin Mukunda Sevi Anyavad Anga Samsutim Smaran Mukundangri Upagohanam Punaha Vihatu Michenan Rasagraho Janaha. So these are some prayers. Just wanted to recite at least two shlokas.
Yes, you will just try because of the
Yeah,
English pronunciation. Yeah.
yes.
Dhavatasaka. Prabhu, can you recite?
I will recite and you follow Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu.
You all the devotees kindly wherever it is possible unmute and follow me. Jayatah charanam bhojam
Jayatah charanam bhojam
bhava nijjita chetasa
bhavanirjita chetasa
utkancha asru kalakshasya
utkranstu
utkancha asru kalakshasya
utkransu kalakashya
hridyasen me sanair harihi.
hridaya se sani harihi sorry
hridyasen me sanair harihi.
hridaya se me sani harihi.
So this is the Narada Muni in his previous life as the son of maidservant after his mother left her body, and then Narada Muni he traveling and when he comes to the place and where he sit and meditate on the Lord's lotus feet, Jayataha Charanambojam Bhavanijjita Chetasa Outkanchya Astru Kalakshasya, having the tears in his eyes, Ashru Kalakshasya Hridi Asein Me Senir Harihi, and slowly the Lord appeared in his heart. In the personality of Godhead Krishna appeared in the on the lotus of my heart. Narada Muni says, and then next one. So there are a few others. Kunti Mata praying. Would you like to go on Mataji this one? It may be easier for you.
Okay, Prabhu. Namaha pankajanaಭaya Namaha pankajamaline Namaha netraya Namaste pankajangare.
So Kunti Mani offering her prayers unto the lotus feet of the Lord. And do we have Meena Mataji available? Otherwise, it is all right. Or would you like to go on this Usha Mataji? This is also very beautiful verse.
Yes, okay.
Shrinvanti Gayanti
Shrivanti
Gyanti
Gayanti
Abhinashah.
Grinanti Abhisankaha Smaranti Nandanti
Savehitam
Avevitam
Janaha.
Janaha Tam Eva Pashyanti Shirena Tvakamaha Bhuvaha Pravalekya Pramam sorry Prabhupadyam
Javaho Paramam Padambujam.
Paramujam.
Shrinvanti Gayanti Grunanti Abhinashah. Smaranti Nandanti Tavehitam Janaham. Taeva Pasyanti Achirena Tavakam Bhava Pravaho Paramam Padambujam. Kunti Maharaj says, unto the lotus feet of the Lord, all the time hear, chant, and repeat the transcendental activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and take pleasure. And by doing so, one can stop the repetition of birth and death. And then further, Neyam Sobise Tatra Yete Danim Gadhadhara Tvat Paderinkita Bhati Swalakshana Vilakshitaihi. When the footprints of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is on the earth, when he was on the planet, at the time everywhere all the planet was completely blissful. And everyone, the fruits bearing and flowers are bearing very nicely, and the rivers are flowing very nicely, so beautiful, opulent in the minerals and riches. But this is Swalakshana Vilakshitaihi. And Bhishma Deva prayers also. So he prays that Vyavahita Pratnamuka Niriksha Swajana Vadat Vimukasya Dosha Bhubhya Kumati Ahrad Atma Vidyayah Charanaratihi Paramasya Tasya Mestu. And whenever Arjuna bewildered in the Kurukshetra battle, at that time Lord Krishna gave Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna to dissipate his ignorance. And Bhishma is remembering that onto that Supreme Personality lotus feet of the Lord, I am offering Charanas. This is Charanarati Paramasya Tasya Mestu. So may his lotus feet always remain the object of my attention. So all these verses are only targeting the lotus feet of the Lord. And Shriyo Nivaso Yasya Varaha Panapatram Mukam Drusham Bahavo Lokapalanam Saranganam Padambujam. Saranganam, who knows the essence of the life? Who knows the essence of the life? They will, for them, Padambujam, Padambujam, the lotus feet of the Lord is the shelter. That is, Suta Goswami is glorifying. And the Dwaraka's queens, they are also doing Queens Krishna's wives. Yadjapi yaso Pashvagato raho gataha tatapi tasyangri yugam navam pade pade ka virameta tatpada chalapi yashrihi najahati karhe chitum. So his lotus feet is always tatapi tasyangri yugam navam. It is appearing like a new every day to serve him. This is yugam navam. And pade pade ka virameti tatpada chalapya shrihi najahati karhe chittam. Because lotus feet of the goddess of fortune, she never leaves the lotus feet of the Lord. Even though she is achanchala, she doesn't stay in the material world at one place. She keeps on moving, but still she does serve the Lord at lotus feet of the Lord without leaving. Chalapya shrihi najahati karhe chitt. At any point of time, she never leaves the lotus feet of the Lord. That is the pade pade ka viramit tatpada chalapya shrihi najahati kahechit is because tasyangri yugam navam. It is always beautiful. Every moment, you see, his feet appear to them be newer and newer every time. And that is the Dwarka Queen's service. And then Yudhishthira is Apipala Dharmarajaha Pitruvad Ranjayan Prajaha Nispruhaha Sarvakamebhya Krishna Padanu Sevaya. Because he is serving the lotus feet of the Lord, he was able to look after his subjects as his children, ruling the kingdom very nicely and completely free from the material attachments. And then he is contemplating when Krishna disappears from this planet. That is once again remembering the lotus feet of the Lord, and then opulence of the Dwarka queens. Yatpad Sutrushana Mukya Karmana Satyadayo Dvasta Sahasrayoshitaha Nijjatya Sanke Tridashanta Dashisho Harinti Vajrayata Vallabhochitaha. So Dwarka queens, by worshipping the lotus feet, all 16,108 wives, they worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord. So wives are starting from Satyadhayo, Satyabhama Devi. So beginning from Dvasta Sahasrayoshitaha. And what they're doing? Shushrushana Mukhya Karmana, serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Yatpada Shushrushana Mukhya Karmana. And because of that, Nijjitya Sankhe Tridashanta Dhashisho. By defeating the Lord Indra and demigods, they have brought the opulences of the Amaravati, which is the heavenly planets. And Haranti Vajraida Vallabhotitaham. And Sachi Devi takes there is a Parijata flower in the Amaravati or the Vaikunta in the heavenly planets. She takes the flowers from the Parijata tree and worship the Lord. And that is her glorious. And he glories. Here, Krishna, because he was requested by the queens of Dwaraka, he brought the Parijata flower by defeating the demigods in the heaven. Nijjitya Sankhe Tridasham Tadashisho, and he brought the Parijata flower to the earth, to Dwaraka. And then later on, uh, so Arjuna glorifies the lotus feet of the Lord, and then Arjuna meditation on the Krishna's lotus feet. Evam Chintayato Jishnoho Krishna Pada Saroruham Sauhardena Atigadena Chanta Asid Vimalamatihi. As soon as one remembers the lotus feet of the Lord, he is completely free from material contamination. Chanta Asid Vimalamatihi. वासुदेवांग्री अनुध्यान परिबृंहितरं हसा भक्त्यादिर्मलित अशेषा कषाय दिशुनोऽर्जुनः. Once remembering the Krishna's lotus feet, Vasudev Angri Anudhyana, Paribrumbhitaram Hasa Bhaktya Nirmatita Ashesha Kashaya Dishurojhunaha. He is completely again free from the material contaminations. And then Pandava's retirement, they remember the Vaikunta Charanam Bhujam. After remembering, that is the path of the Pandavas during their retirement statement. And then there are further, so Saunaka statements are these are glorifications of the lotus feet of the Lord. I couldn't stop myself collecting all these first three cantos wherever Krishna's lotus feet appears. So all these shlokas, and Dharani is also mentioning that Srimad Padaihi Bhagavataha Samalankutangi. So she mentions that whenever Lord was here, his lotus feet is tinged with the marks of Vajra Dvaja Kusha, Vajra Ankusha, and then lotus flower. Likewise, the four symbols. This is the Abja, Pulisha, Ankusha, Ketu, Ketaihi. So these are the four symbols. And likewise, she prays, and Dharani is also remembering that she is separated from the Lord after Krishna's disappearance. And then further, the Saunakadi sages, they are also glorifies, and then Parikshit also glorifies. There is one verse, Yavat Lasat Tulsi Vimishra Krishnangri Renu Abhidikambhunetri Punati Lokan Ubhyatra Sheshan Kastam Naseveta Marishyamanaha. And Krishna's lotus feet, it is always worshipped by the devotees and having the tulsi leaves. And then the water emanated from the lotus feet of the Lord, it will purify the Punati Lokan Ubhyatra Sheshan, all the planetary systems, including the Lord Shiva, even though he is already purified, he purifies. So that is the lotus feet of the Lord. There are further glories. I couldn't stop it, but we shall continue our Vaikunta description. So Krishna.
So you just all the collect the verses and then you made it, Prabhu, all the verses.
Yes, Mataji. So wherever Krishna's lotus feet appearing, just collected in the first three cantos only. They are coming more than 120 verses at least.
In one canto.
First, second, and third cantos. Three cantos.
120 verses, Prabhu.
At least 120 verses at least.
Oh, okay, Prabhu. So this is you have in your collection, Prabhu, in library. Is nothing on the.
Yes, Mataji. This is my.
You. Okay, Prabhu. Just Prabhu, would you be share it at the text name and then the numbers?
I have
can.
shared it, Mataji, in the WhatsApp. I have shared
Okay.
it. I think 2 days back I have shared it.
Okay, Prabhu. Maybe I missed it. So I just maybe in my like in a Sanskrit verses, I can just put it in Sanskrit. So sometimes you just recite these verses, right, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, whenever we have time, maybe at least one a day at least can remember.
Yeah. At least a few verses, if you remember, that would be very beautiful to
Mm-hmm.
participate.
Oh, thank you so much, Prabhu. So wonderful. Okay, Prabhu, you're doing all the verses and then just remembering by heart some verses, Prabhu. It's very hard to remembering by heart.
Yes, and then we need to, this is dharana, remember the
Yeah, when you just recite every day, then yeah, you remember, Prabhu. So to think maybe at least one verse for 1 week and then yeah, you remember.
Yes, so the lotus feet, the Lord walks on that lotus feet now. So that
So
lotus feet,
beautiful.
so why we are glorifying, the Lord is walking on that lotus feet, and even on the other day, Prabhupada was mentioning there is something magic in his lotus feet. The Lord also, he sips his toe. This is the
Yes, you
this is
just sucking his toes when
Yes,
he's yeah.
yes. That is once again the part of Devhuti Mata prays to the in her prayers to Kapila Bhagavan. She mentions Sattvam Ruto me Jatarena Nada Katam nu Yasyodara Etadasi Vishwam Yugante Vatapatrayekaha Sete Smamaya Sisurangri. Oh, my dear Lord, how did you appear in my tummy? So it is wonderful. Sattam Brutome Jatarena Nada. Katam no Yasyodara Etadasit. How can the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you appeared in my womb? But it may be possible because Vishwam Yugante Vatapatrayekaha. At the end of this, the Pralaya, at that point of time, you live under Setesma Maya Sisrangri Vishwam Yugante Vatapatrekaha, on the leaf, banyan leaf, you are lying on there, Setesmama Sisurangri Panaha, and you sip the toe of your lotus feet, and there is some magic in it. So when you are able to do it, why it is not possible for you to appear in my womb? Of course, when in our lives, how do we understand? It is also possible for us. We are always engaging the material duties and forgetting the Lord. But when we take the Krishna's lotus feet and coming to the devotional service, we are engaging our life and soul at the service of the Lord. That means we got Bhaktilata Bhija into our heart. How it is possible? It is possible for the Lord because He knows who are His devotees, who are selfless, who are free from kama, krodha, lobha, and who are having loving affection toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is possible. So these are many of things. So one has to worship that lotus feet of the Lord. He has got some magic there. It is even uh, so just this is the lotus feet of the Lord. It is this one. So lotus. I was seeing the lotus feet of Krishna before. I think it's okay. This is the lotus feet of the Lord right there. So there is some lotus feet. Everyone has to meditate. It is Pradarshayantam Krupayanakendu. So even materialistic people, they Swakamaya Vivikta Madgaihi Abhyachatam Kamadugangri Padmam. Pradarshayantam Krupayanakendu Mayuka Binnanguli Charupatram. So he is always showing his lotus feet because wherever we see, he is showing lotus feet because of for the devotees, for the Saranganam Padambhujam, devotees, they will come. And about the materialistic people, this is Swakamaya Vivikta Margaihi. They wanted to fulfill their desires and they will come in different fruits. So the Lord is always showing Pradarshyantam Krupayana and he is always showing his lotus feet. Naka Indu, his nails, they are like a moon. Mayuka Pinnanguli Charupatram, the light coming from the toenails of the Lord, it will dissipate the darkness in the heart of the conditioned soul. Jayataha Charanambhojam Sanchintayed Bhagavato Charanaravindam Vajrankushadvaja Saroruhalanchanadhyam Uttunga Rakta Vilasatnaka Chakravala Uttunga Rakta Vikasatnaka Chakravala Josna Virahada Mahadhrudayandakaram. That is Yeshri. Yatsaucha Nisruta Saritravrodakena Tidhena Mudhyadikritena Sivahtivabhun Jatuhu Samalasaila Nisrustavajram Jaye Chiram Bhagavato Charanaravindam. That lotus feet, which is tinged with Vajram Kshadvaja Sarurha Lanchanadhyam. And that is the glories of, and the Ganges river coming from it purifies the Lord Shiva. And that lotus feet, it will kick away all the sinful activities of the conditioned soul. These are the glories of the lotus feet of the Lord. There are so many things. I think Nantam idam yahmami munyograjaste maya balasya purushasya kutovaraye gayan gunan dasajadarna adidevaha shesho gunapya samavasya nasya param. Even Lord Ananta could not glorify Krishna's glories. So that lotus feet ekaikaha sha angani dhyanu bhavayet padhadi yavadasitam gadabrutaha Jitam sthanam upohya dharayet padam sujyadihi yada yada. Starting from the lotus feet, this is the starting point to meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Lord Ananta cannot glorify, what to speak of ours. So it is very, very difficult to glorify all Krishna's glories. So that is we shall see what Brahma is explaining on the lotus feet of the Lord. So that is the 37th verse. So this is now Brahma worshipped his lotus feet, Lord Shankara. When Lord lotus feet, just in a summary, his lotus feet punished Kalya's head, and Brahma washed the lotus feet of the Lord, and he put the lotus feet on the head of the Bali Maharaj. And Lakshmi Devi always worships. Ananta is having the Lord He himself on top of his body. And what to speak of anything else? There are immeasurable things. Okay, just mind-blowing things. Okay, now we shall enter into this beautiful verse. Evam tadaiva bhagavan aravindanabha swanam vibudya sadhatikramam aryavrudyaham tasmin yayu paramahamsa mahamuninam अन्वेषणीय चरणौ चलयन् सहस्रीः Evam tadaiva bhagavan aravindanabha. So at that very moment when the Jaya and Vijaya were cursed by the sages, at that moment Evam tadaiva bhagavan aravindanabha, and whose belly is like a aravinda, lotus flower, aravindanabha, with a lotus growing from his navel. So his belly is the navel, and from where again growing another lotus flower, with a lotus growing from his navel. Aravindanabham Swanam Vibudhya Sad Atikramam Aryahridyaha. Swanam Vibudhya, and of his Swanam, his servants, Vibudhya, he has learned about what? Sad Atikramam Aryahridyaha. To the great sages, the insult has happened. Aryahridyaha, of the righteous, and Hridyaha, the delight. So that sage is, so the offense has happened to the great sages. Swanam vibhujyasad atikramam aryahujyaha. And then at that time, what he has done after hearing that? Tasmin yayu paramhamsa mahamuninam. Tasmin yayu paramhamsa mahamuninam. And Tasmin, that Supreme Personality of Godhead, at that point of time, yayu, and he left his palace. And then to the place where the Jaya and Vijaya are here. So here, this is the Jaya and Vijaya is standing at the gate here, and Kumaras are here, and the Lord has come here to that point. Tasmin Yayu Paramahamsa Mahamuninam, and on what he has been. So now Paramahamsa Mahamuninam, all the Paramahamsas, Mahamuninam, and recluses, Paramahamsa recluses, and by the great sages and Anveshaniya, and which are the worthy to be sought. Which are worthy to be sought? Charanau, the two lotus feet. And he went on what? Yayau, on what? Charanau, on his legs by walking. Chalayan, by walking. He is walking. Chalayan, Sahasrihi, with the goddess of fortune. So having goddess of fortune with him, he is walking on his lotus feet. That lotus feet is always meditated by the Paramhamsa Mahamunina, by the great sages and the devotees. Evam tadaiva bhagavan Ravindanabaha Swanam vibhujyasad adikramam aryahujyaham Tasmin yayu Paramahamsa Mahamuninam Anveshaniya Charanau Chalayan Sahasrihi. So beautiful. That glories of the lotus feet of the Lord is immeasurable. Okay, can I request dear devotees? Would you like to read the translation and purport?
Oh,
Yes, Mataji, please.
yes, Prabhu, I can read, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
At that very moment, the Lord, who is called Padmanabha, because of the lotus grown from his navel, and who is the delight of the righteous, learned about the insult offered by his own servant to the saints, accompanied by his spouse, the goddess of fortune. He went to the spot on those very feet, sought by recluses and great sages. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord declares that his devotees cannot be vanquished at any time. The Lord could understand that the quarrel between the doorman and the sages was taking a different turn, and therefore he instantly came out of his place and went to the spot to stop further aggravation so that his devotees, the doorman, might not be vanquished for good. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. So here Prabhupada is explaining. And so here Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, Name Bhakta Pranasyati, Kaunteya Pradjanihi, Name Bhakta Pranasyati. So here Jaya and Vijaya are the devotees of the Lord. And now it is they are under the protection of the Lord. So the Lord could understand that the quarrel between the doorman and that is his devotees and the sages, the Brahmanas, was taking a different turn because they were cursed by the sages that they are going down to the Lokanito Rachitam Antarbhava Drishya Papi Yastraya Ime Ripo Asayatra. So where the three material modes of nature we are going to be capture this Jaya and Vijaya very strongly, knowing that the Lord, he is coming to that point. Therefore, instantly came out of his palace and went to the spot to stop further aggravation, so that his devotees, the doormen, might not be vanquished for good. So now, it is the will of the Lord. Now he is coming here as to protect the devotees. So likewise, Prabhupada is explaining here, and here the Lord in this one, the Jaya and Vijaya are here, and they are being cursed by the sages. And after that, the Lord has come from the palace, and with the, if we see, there are in his entourage. So goddess Lakshmi Devi, goddess of fortune, she has come, and and the Lord doesn't have any shoes here. In the Vaikunta, the Lord does not have any shoes. So he came on his lotus feet, and goddess of fortune also, her lotus feet also doesn't have any shoes there. And Kumaras are here. They are looking at very beautifully. So this is um, Tanvikya Vatarashanam Munayah Chitrah Kumaran. They don't have any clothes on top of their bodies. And here Jaya and Vijaya, they're anxiously looking at the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his beauties. And here all the demigods, the Vaikunta people, and here they're using their chamaras, and they're also four-handed form, and their legs. We also see their lotus legs, and then behind that there are another devotees again here in the back side, and the very beautiful trees and the palaces, and on top of the Vaikunta, there airplanes. So if we see the top, there are airplanes are also there, golden airplanes made with lapis lazuli. And this is the entourage of the Lord. The Lord has come there on his lotus feet. And so the further verses, they glorify his opulence, how he is coming. And the umbrella here, umbrella, there is a glorification of umbrella, glorification of this chamara, and all his entourage, and the garland in the neck of the Lord, and how beautiful when compared to the goddess of fortune, and the Kaustubha jewel, which is behind which is covered by these lotus flowers, and his garments and his earrings, they are his earrings are always glorified. And the light coming from the earrings, it fall on his face, and then it further glorifies. So Lord is always beautiful. So it is glorification of the earrings. Now, with all his entourage, the Lord has come to the point, to the gate, seventh gate, where Jaya and Vijaya are being cursed by the Kumaras. And there are all opulences are here. We will be staying on this picture for a bit longer period. We have to pass through so many verses of it in the coming days. So the Lord has come. Tasmin yayu paramahamsa mahamuninam anveshaniya charanau chalayan sahasrihi. So on that lotus feet the Lord has walked to that point along with Goddess of Fortune. And while other people, Nanda and Sunda, Prabala, Arhana, they are doing the fanning the Lord with the chamaras. And the Lord has having the lotus, and then Gada, and then what else? In the hand, this is conch shell is here. And then what else? In another hand. I think so. There is a Garuda. Yes. So one hand on the Garuda. Yes. This is Garuda. We see here Garuda is here. One hand on the Garuda, one hand the lotus, and one hand on the. So here Sudarshan Chakra is not visible because he kept the hand on the Garuda. So here this is the hand here, the Lord's lotus hand here. Garuda he is here. Vinyasta Charanambojam Amshadehe Garutmataha. So that one is a different one. And here he is keeping the lotus flower. Vinyasta Hattamitrena Dunanamabjam Valku Prakosta Valayam Vinata Sutamshe. He keeps that one hand on top of the neck of Garuda, and then conch shell, this lotus, and Gada, and this behind that, that is the Nanda and Sunda. One of them is carrying this umbrella, which is so beautiful that we will also glorify in the coming verses. But this is the opulence. So Lord is coming there on walking on his lotus feet. Okay, so with that one, I stop here. I request dear devotees, if you have got any questions or you wanted to anything, so kindly add. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, thank you so much for the explaining about the Brahma's descriptions, Vaikunta description. So beautiful when you said that all the slokas were about the lotus feet of Supreme Personality. It's so nice, Prabhu, all the slokas. If I remember, Prabhu, one or two slokas. Mm, Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for your time, Prabhu. It's just so precious. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So it is devotees, when you have got such a desire to hear, you will also find such kind of opportunity to hear that Krishna's glorifications. Okay, so this is the Krishna's Vaikunta palace, and so many so this is the Vaikunta pictures. So just was trying to see. Okay, so here it is. I just taken the pictures from the book, and here this is the airplanes made with यत्सङ्कुलं हरिपदानतिमातदृष्टैः वैडूर्यमार्कत हेममयैः विमानयैः. This is the Vaiduryamarkata Hemamaihi Vimanaihi. They are also there. And there are so many people are here. These people are, while everyone are watching this Jaya and Vijaya, they stopped the Kumaras. That's why Kumaras curse. And the Lord has come from the palace. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. It is so beautiful and relishing.
Yes, and you release with the pictures also. So when you heard with the things, it's so beautiful, Prabhu, when you describe all the things, little things. And
Yes.
then when it's picture, when you see that, it's so beautiful.
Yes, and the previous verses there is Hamsa here. There are maybe other birds as well, and the trees also. There may be parrots. I think it looks there is some bird. It seems here. Just whenever the descriptions are there, small things. I'm trying to find the devotee who are painting these pictures, whether they have included everything or not. Every minute things. Of course, when I see it, I immediately we reflect. Oh, this is the verse for this particular picture. Okay, so that is Krishna's opulence in the Vaikunta here. It is opulent form. Hare Krishna Meena Mataji. So you always add so much of nectar. You ask many questions about the Vaikunta and about the Lord. It is so beautiful to hear you, Mataji. So you also ask all these kind of questions. You are so always eager to hear and ask many things.
Yes, Minamata is quiet today. I don't know why.
Um, maybe busy, Mataji. Yeah, that should be all right. Okay, so that is from anything else, Mataji, Usha Mataji?
No, Prabhu, yes, I have many, but I don't know how to ask Prabhu. But it was so nice when you just saying and then get that all the answers sometimes. So beautiful, Prabhu.
So this is
It's everything in Krishna's lotus feet. When you meditate on Krishna's feet, then it's kind of there.
Yes, Mataji. So and also the Mukundamala Stotra, the first few
So
verses.
this is cool Shekhara Prabhu, where you're just reciting that all the verses. So it's how many verses that the Kul
What
Shekhara Prabhu? You just saying that Kul Shekhara's you were just saying that verses all the
Yes,
reciting.
yes, Kula Shekara, yes.
Yeah, Prabhu. So he is also glorifying the
Lotus feet, yeah.
yeah. Okay, Prabhu.
He also just like Mavonutapakалaya Bhagat Smritigno Moho Bhavedihno Rajito Adovadaha. This is Jaya and Vijay glorifying. And there Kulashekara is saying Avismriditva Charanara Bhave Me Astu Bhavat Prasada. He is also asking the same request in his prayers.
Mm.
So it is we also do the same thing. We also know all our acharyas. Essence is the same thing. What is the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord?
So this in the picture, Prabhu, that white peacock, is it? The
This one, yes,
picture.
peacock. Yes, white peacock.
Mm-hmm. So why is the white peacock, Prabhu? Is it any behind anything? Or
I have seen these white peacocks in the zoo park. So there are different peacocks as well. They are very beautiful and uh, naturally I have not seen, but in the zoo I have seen zoo park.
so beautiful picture, Prabhu. Whoever just draw the pictures and then just take a picture. So nice.
Yes, but if you are just saying without discussing about the picture, we don't understand the meanings of each and every.
No.
When we see the slokas,
Sloka, and then when you see the picture same time, so I can just release that all the how beautiful is going to Loka.
yeah, in the Vaikunta Loka, all auspicious birds, trees, all auspicious birds and trees. There are no thorny bushes, no crows, such kind, no inauspicious birds, inauspicious trees like that. It is all auspicious birds. So that's why they don't need to wear the shoes there. They don't need to wear shoes. There are no thorny bushes. Everything is soft grass. And so we see here, and there are very ponds, very beautiful ponds. It is very pleasing. And wherever the lotus feet of the Lord is there, everything is opulent. Swalaksh, this is Kunti Mata's prayer. Once again, she mentions that when Krishna was on the planet, it is so beautiful. Neyam Subhisitatra ite dhanim gadadhara त्वत्पदैरिङ्किता भाति स्वलक्षणविलक्षितैः त्वत्पदैः अंकिता भाति स्वलक्षणविलक्षितैः. So beautiful that Vyasadeva has composed all kinds of verses in Sanskrit. We are in the first 3 cantos only. We are relishing so much of nectar. But I don't know the 10th canto, everyone are glorifying. 10th canto has got so beautiful verses. But I don't know how that would be. I don't know how long it would take for us to go there. 10 canto.
So when can't we take that 10th canto, Prabhu, after finishing the 2nd canto? Then we
Yes,
sing glorify to Krishna.
yes, Mata. So this one, as a special topic, we are on the 3rd canto, this Vaikunta description.
Yes.
15th chapter and 16th chapter also the Lord glorifies further about Brahmanas and about the curse and the pastimes of the Vaikunta. So these 2 chapters, they give essence of most of our scriptures.
So when we finish, maybe Prabhu, then we can take that on Saturday, like after the everyday sloka, then we can do the 10th canto.
So 10th canto, after this Vaikunta description, we go to the Brahma Samhita Mataji as we have planned before. And once the Brahma Samhita is properly released and discussed and everyone are happy, and Goloka Vrindavana is that chart, Goloka chart is discussed nicely. And once we are all happy, then we enter into the past. We know that Krishna's address, Krishna's pastimes, and his position, all his opulences and his glories. When we enter at that point of time into the 10th canto, it will be.
Yes, Prabhu.
Every moment is a kind of relation.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Mataji. It is so beautiful to discuss Krishna Katha among the devotees.
Even though, Prabhu, me only 2 devotees are there, but still you just do all the service and then give your time, valuable time to us. So really appreciate, Prabhu, and thank you so much.
So there will be many devotees also will be hearing Mataji. So, but it appears so, but there are so many people who would be hearing.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank
So,
you, Prabhu.
with that one, we shall conclude our Srimad Bhagavatam for today and
Yes.
continue with the further japa. If you are all happy, we shall conclude.
Thank you, Prabhu.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनन्तकोटिवत्सुरयुतिजाय तिलप्रोपादि की जय।
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद।